just want to express special thanks to the musicians over here. Really, it was like before talking about cause and effect, it really causes the peace of the mind peace. This kind of thing that we need to develop our mind in order to have a correct direction of our life. Whether or not we believed, sometimes we don't believe. Some people, they don't believe. Some people, they believe. But believe it or not, we human beings, we have a tendency to do many wrong things, even though we don't intend to do it. The intention is good. We have an intention of doing good thing, I think, many of us. Maybe religiously, maybe culturally, maybe some sort of, let's say, education-wise, I don't know, whatever. We do wrong thing. Mainly because we are nervous. We are not at peace. We are nervous, therefore we need religion. We are nervous, therefore we need culture. We are nervous, therefore we need some guidance. And the guidance, some guidance, not necessarily all the guidance are correct guidance. Not necessarily all the religion that you are really following is a correct religion. Not necessarily all the culture can cause you, the ultimate refuge. If we are not nervous, if we are strong enough, we will find the inner refuge within ourselves. We do not any external refuge, such as refuge in the religion or culture or anything else. We are strong enough to take refuge within yourself. But we have been very weak, not only in this generation I'm talking about, but many generations, thousands of generations before. It has been very weak. That is the reason why the religions are very popular, because religion was very, very helpful. On and off, but mostly it is very helpful. And also culture, as well as, of course, all sorts of different sorts of method, exotic method, or whatever you may call. All has been very popular. Not only in this generation, but many generations before. It has been like this. So, of course, there's nothing wrong with it. It has been like this, and it's finished. Let's not talk about past. If it is not being helpful, obviously this religion thing or culture thing cannot be survived that long. So many thousand years, it has been survived very, very nicely, very strongly. It's because that it has been really helpful for the humankind or whatever, in the society. So therefore it has been like that. So now, from now onward, what we have to understand is that because of 21st century, we should really be able to bring some revolution in our concept, and especially the concept of religion, concept of culture, and concept of love. Because now it is getting more fanatic, and fanaticism connected with the religion, fanaticism connected with the culture. All these things are getting a little too much. To my understanding, when it comes to this kind of issue, the most important is the cause and effect most important philosophy, if you like, or you can call it most important theory or theoretical understanding, is the cause and effect. What the topic over here says that the cause and effect is the most important thing that we have to learn, we have to study, we have to practice, and finally we have to understand. Because cause and effect is the life and is the future of our life. And when it comes to the world, like today's life or today's world, everything is very much the reflection of what we have been doing and what we are doing. For example, the immigration. Like refugees or whatever you may call. Of course, we have to create an atmosphere where they can be fitting in, and we, as a human being, have to open our arm to receive them with love and compassion. That comes without saying anything, but also have to understand, not just because of religion or because of whatever, but it has to be done with the understanding of cause and effect. It's the circle. It's the boomerang. You just put it or the boomerang comes back. So I would call it's like a boomerang. From a point of view of Buddhism, Buddhist sign is a circle. They call it chakra, wheel. So this is the thing. It's every time, everything that goes up, it has to go down. Everything goes there, it has to come back. So, it has to, everything what you did has to come back to you. So good or bad, doesn't matter. So this kind of concept, if you could manage to understand and could practice, that will take you away from the fanaticism of any sorts of religion. The religiosity, the concept of religiosity, that gives the trouble also at the same time. Obviously, the religion, as I mentioned, that religion did a very good job, many places, many times, many years, many generations. But at the same time, nowadays we can see many religion causes a lot of problems everywhere. And we don't know. Some people, they get shocked. They're just surprised. They just get shocked, astonished that the religion causes that much of trouble. Why? They are so, they cannot express anything. They just cannot imagine. But people like me, or people who understand why, it's not a shocking news. It's a fanatic. It's a fanatic that makes all the trouble. So fanaticism that is connected with the religion. So therefore, religiosity. I call it religiosity. So religiosity will not be there. The religiostic problem will no longer there, because if you have a total understanding of cause and effect, if you are very much like oriented by the religiosity. The few days ago, the attack in Paris is definitely come from God. The God created this kind of attack. And God, that means in the name of punishment. The God did it. Or maybe God asked a human being to do it, or something like that. That's all. So that is what religious way of describing it. But from the point of view of cause and effect, then this is it's not a God or somebody did it. It's the kind of a circle that has to be paid back, you know. And so this is a kind of a circle, or it's a boomerang that will sort of come back and experience it. So life is nothing but circle. Goes up, 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 then go down. It has to be. Goes down, but it doesn't mean that you have to be in a down. You have to come up. So it's a loop. So this is what the general understanding of spirituality, let's put it like that, real spirituality. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, for example, it is our wrongdoing. It is our carelessness that causes that problem. Maybe not necessarily in this generation. Maybe many generations ago, some of our ancestors might have done some mistake. Some mistakes, practical mistake. Maybe officers did some mistake. Maybe government did some mistake. Maybe householder did some mistake. I don't know, but must have done something wrong. That creates the problem of all these terrorists, or all these difficulties. Not only in Paris attack, but many places all over the world now the attack comes, and there is a problem of war. There is a problem of climate, the global warming problems, and there are problems of earthquake, and there are problems of the landsliding, etc., etc. It's not a God-made, or it's nothing. It's a human-made. We human beings are very fond of blaming on somebody else. We are very fond of, we blame on nature. We blame on God. We blame on somebody else. It's like that. It's a very, the nature of a human being anyway. Maybe we are very smart, so we are just cleaning ourselves and blame on somebody else. This is our sort of like a smartness or intelligent. But actually it is cannot be blamed on nature and say, oh, this natural disaster. It is not a natural disaster when it is disaster happens. It is a man-made disaster. And also, you cannot just blame on the God, say, oh, now, the God punishes. We cannot blame on the God also. This is a human, man-made problem, disaster. Not only just natural disasters, but so-called natural disasters are man-made. But of course, also the terrorist also is creation of a human being. The global warming problem, for instance, it's very much visible that it is coming from our creation, our careless of living to take care of the nature. We are not taking care of the natures. We are not taking care of water and the airs and all these things. Therefore, it is now the pollution creates a lot of problems in the air. And then, of course, you know much better than I do, I think. So many of you are, scientist oriented, and many of you are doctor, many of you are lawyer. Anyway, you are more educated in that sort of things more than I do. So I don't have to repeat all these things. But you know that why the global warmings are coming. It is mainly because of us. So this means we made it, we created that problem for us. So we are suffering. But of course, we are very good at blaming on somebody else. And if not God, we can blame on the nature. Many of us are suffering from getting fat. And of course, again, it is because we are creating the animal to be fat all the way through, and fast fat. Let's put it like that, so that we will make more money, and we can chop them down, and we can sell that, or we can eat it, something like that. So then obviously we get very fat, and so we suffer tremendously. And we not only we being becoming fat, but then our children will also be very fat because of our gene and whatever the connection which we have, blood and gene, whatever. And we have the children also will have a very sort of tendency to be very fat, no matter whether they eat a lot or not. They will be very fat. So they will be suffering tremendously as well. We have been very nasty. We have been very sort of rude when we treat animals. We do not think, or we do not use our sort of wisdom or understanding how animals will be suffering by doing that. We don't think of that. We just want to make money, fast money. So therefore, we just inject them. We just do whatever, We give them, some remote area in Himalaya also, when they wanted to sell the pig soon, so that they make money. So they give lots of waters. There's no sort of like choice. You just pump in, and and then the pig will be very, very, very fat and very big, full of water and I don't know whatever. So then you can sell it, and you can sort of like weigh it and sell it for quite a big money. So this is what people are doing. It's back in Himalaya I'm talking about, but here maybe you're doing the similar thing. I think, I don't know, but obviously you're doing similar thing, I think. So all these things. We are being very, very nasty to the animals, just because that the animal doesn't talk. So then the payback or whatever comes back to you or your family or to your society, that all the unnecessary kind of sufferings and incidents happens. But then when it happens, even if the doctors say, or masters say, or some of your friend tells you that, you don't believe it. You don't want to believe it. You just have to blame on somebody else. So I'm just giving these examples just to let you know what really the cause and the effect means. And so this actually, if you know this, and not only know that, but then not only knowing that, but definitely if you manage to practice it, means like not doing such kind of cruel things to others, then the life quality will be naturally getting better, and so-called natural disasters will not be happening, and the the problem of global warming will be sorted out, and the health will also be improved without having medicines. It will definitely automatically be improved because pollution will be lesser. All these things, because it's just change. You can change it. It's not in God's hand, it's in our hand. That is something we should think. It's not in God's hand. If you think that this is totally in God's hand, that is religiosity. To me, it is religiosity, or it is a fanaticism that links with the religion, which is, of course, nothing wrong. But I would say, personally, that this is the century that you should take bring some revolution in the society. Also, this is I think. I mean, if the gods are looking at us, I think they will be like feeling hopeless, I think, because the God would be saying something like, "Oh, my goodness! Now again, there's an attack, there's a landsliding, there's an earthquake, but now again these people will definitely points to me. I didn't do anything. Why they are always using my name? You know, the God will definitely be swearing. You know, and you know, but that's the thing. You know, so I don't think the God will be that nasty to us. Even though we are a very bad person, the God will definitely not be that nasty to us. Definitely not. I don't believe it anyway. You know, so that nasty things are happening because we creating that. So, for example, like when it comes to the terrorist is definitely because of our weakness. I don't want to take much of your time, but just I want to come back to the point of these today's kind of situation. The situation over here in the West, and especially in Europe, now the refugees problem. Obviously, it will be linked with the economy of the country. It will be linked with the issue of the security of the people and the country, and it will be linked with the environmental issue also. So all these issues will be like will be a topic to talk about, linked with the refugees and accepting refugees and giving refuge. So it's a very complicated. It's very easy for me to say things, but when it comes to the practice, for the sake of the countries and for the sake of the people of the country, that's a very complicated, one of the most complicated issue. So it's not so easy, as we think when it comes to really be practical level. I know how the government official, how do you say, feels about and experience about, and how the householders they feel, how taxpayers they feel, and you know, I mean, there are lots and lots of complications that we have to deal with. So it's not so easy that, you know, now I am, you know, sitting in a very comfortable seats and very good temperature and very beautiful audience, very nice audience, and nice cup of tea, all these things, and I can talk very smooth and very nice. But when it comes to really the practical level, it's not that easy, I know. But I hope that, and sincerely hope, that we all will be able to sort of like, we all will be able to work together. For example, like we as a German, we should be able to give refuge to them. But they as a refugees also should be able to learn how to adapt themselves and respect with the German culture, German way of living and whatever, so that they can marry, not only physical marry I'm talking about, but marry culturally, marry life along with the society where they are now taking refuge in. They should take this as a responsibility. Their very sincere, very important responsibility to adapt themselves with the German society. And so, you know, I hope and pray from depth of my heart that both sides can work together, heart to heart, and, you know, and synchronize, so to speak, very nicely, and create or contribute such a pleasant and useful atmosphere to the world and to the country, like maybe Germany. That is very, very my sincere prayer from depth of my heart, and sincere wish from really my enlightenment view. The refugees, many of them has skills, many of them has very good educations, many of them has very good mind, very kind heart. So we should also let them to sort of like contribute us. That is also one of our responsibility. But at the same time, we should also, they should also create or develop their own motivation to sort of contribute their good thing, their whatever their goodies that they have in their mind or with them. They should contribute to Germany, and they should help to Germany, and they should really respect the German culture and German religion, German sort of culture, and sort of in the respect each other will create the atmosphere very nice. And that is the best way, rather than saying that, I can't eat this, I can't do that, I can't do this is my sort of like a fanaticism, like a rigidness, saying that, you Germans eat this, I don't eat this, you this and that. This is the adaptation that we have to do that. Adaptation. You have to adapt with this is the 21st century. Now this is the time to adapt yourself, your religion, your culture with some other religion and culture, and then make it useful for the society. This is what I would say. I would give this kind of message to the refugees. Obviously, you got to be careful when the refuge thing comes. You got to be careful, but at the same time, you have to be fully heartedly dealing with them. Fully hearted means fully loved, full love. With full love, you have to live. You have to deal with the refugees, and I would say definitely that I want to express my deep, heartfelt thanks to the German government, and also, of course, many parts of European government for accepting the refuge and looking after the refugees and looking after their problems. Of course, I want to thank from my depth of heart.